Hey there friends, thanks for checking in. Today we're going to do a range comparison with the Mossberg Shockwave 590S versus the Remington V3 Tac-13. Both 12 gauge firearms that hold 5+1 2 3/4 inch loads. The Shockwave is not new, but the 590S is new because they re-engineered the feed system to accept mini shells, and that is a very nice advantage with the Mossberg Shockwave 590S. The Remington V3 Tac-13 is semi-auto. It has the Versamax gas system that is very nice, holds 5+1s, will not accept mini shells, but the rate of fire is very fast, much faster than a pump action could ever accomplish. So you say, well, that's not apples and apples. Well, they are both 12 gauge firearms. Similar Raptor style or bird's head grip, however you want to say it. Both approximately the same overall length, right around 20. I'll put some text in there because it's escaping me here at the range. Both in 12 gauge. Here we've got a 14.3 inch barrel with the Shockwave. The V3 has a 13 inch vent rib barrel, both with beaded front sights, both with forward straps. This has a crossbolt safety right there. This has one on top of the receiver. On each receiver, they're both drilled and tapped for an optic. I don't know who would put an optic on a short firearm like this, but they're both pretty special in their own way. There are advantages with the V3 Tac-13. Now, it was selling for around $900 is what I meant to say. And this has an MSRP of $630. So we're looking at a price increase here if you can find a V3 Tac-13. Let me go ahead and shoot them. It's very muddy out here, so I'm not going to set them down, but I'll go ahead and fire each of these with bird loads and then some higher velocity loads, and we can check out the differences. The Mossberg Shockwave 590S, as I mentioned, has a bead front sight, a fixed cylinder bore choke, a sling mount right there on the cap of the magazine tube, corn cob fore end. It does have a fixed strap right there, Raptor style grip, safety on top of the receiver. Already mentioned that. It's pump action. Let's go ahead and take a few shots. I think that's it. A lot of people love the Shockwave, but the adaptability of shooting mini shells is a huge advantage here, especially for home defense. Now, those were regular 7.5 shot bird loads, and I can feel that come back at me. I'm glad it has this strap. I do believe that the Shockwave models are better than the Remington Tac-14. Not what I'm featuring today, but the Tac-14. It holds 5 shells, a 2 3/4 inch, and it does have the strap there. And other than that, they're very similar, honestly, other than the capacity, and the barrel length here is 14.3. They did increase the MSRP on this. That doesn't mean that's what the stores are going to sell for. People were comparing the price they paid 4 years ago with the MSRP now, and that's not a fair comparison. Nice pump action. It has the re-engineered feed system. Oh, getting the mini shells. Well, 1 3/4 inch mini shells. You could alternate those. You could put a heavy load, you could put light loads in. I did some range tests with that. You may want to check it out. They are very powerful for a little shell like that. And this would hold, I believe it was 8 or 9. So that's pretty good capacity out of a little firearm like this. So the Shockwave is new, and the Shockwave's not new, but the 590S is with the mini shells. By the way, if you get the adapter that you could use with the old Shockwave, you cannot use 2 3/4 inch. This will also handle 3 inch magnum loads as well, but you cannot do that. This, you can do that, so that is pretty nice adaptability with the 590S. Here we have the Remington V3 Tac-13, 13 inch vent rib barrel. I already mentioned it has the beaded front sight, a barrel clamp right there, very beefy, a bit heavier. and that's because of the gas system. Now the semi-auto action with the VersaPort system is really smooth. It offers less recoil than the Shockwave or any other pump action as far as I'm concerned. Same bird's head grip, I believe Mossberg calls it a Raptor style. But you've got the charger right there, the bolt release, the strap right here that is adjustable. That is only for control. You don't need it for pump action, that's for sure. And an overall nice firearm. Now, very hard to find these days, very hard. And it was sold for right around $900, and people were telling me that they were paying over $1,100. The rate of fire and the smoothness is where this will shine. All right, so as where the pump action, you're manually feeding the loads, this will feed on its own. And it will feed and fire everything. Everything from the cheap bird loads, which is in there right now, to the high-end, high velocity Magnum loads, as well as many self-defense loads. Let's go ahead and take a few shots. It does have a cross bolt safety. I like the Mossberg position of the safety. I think that's really nice on top of the receiver. Let's go ahead and take a few shots. All right. And what's also pretty interesting that you can't see is that the Shockwave shells are here and the V3 Tac-13 are way out there. So that, it doesn't mean anything. It's just that it just goes to show you that it's a strong system that loads these rounds. Let's go ahead and get an unloaded weight with these two firearms. Here we have the V3 Tac-13, 6 pounds and 2 ounces. Once again, unloaded. 590S Shockwave, 5 pounds, 6 1/4 ounces. It is that gas system that weighs a little bit more. What I'm shooting now is 7.5 Yoki bird loads. They are high velocity loads. I've got 5 loaded up in the Mossberg 590S. Let's check out the difference in recoil, and perhaps I'll slow down the video a bit, and that may give you a better understanding. Ow. All right, so that was high velocity, which did offer more recoil. The one time you heard me say ow was I put it too close to my face and my thumb came right up and hit me right there. So I said ow. But that is high velocity. Let's check out the Tac-13. All right, Remington Tac-13. Let's see the recoil this offers. And that's it. Now, it's significantly less. So that's a great advantage with this. The rate of fire is an advantage. Overall length is about the same. But the advantage that the Shockwave has, let alone being a great firearm, which it is that you can alternate mini shells, and you can't do that with this V3 Tac-13. There's the Mossberg Shockwave 590S up top and the Remington V3 Tac-13 on the bottom. I told you that the overall length was very similar, and you can see right on the table that it is. Here is the charger, the bolt release, and a closer look at the barrel. I like this very thick and well built barrel clamp, and there's a look at the bird's head grip, and then the crossbolt safety is right there. We'll take a look at the other side. Not too much to see there, pretty much more of the same, but that is the Remington V3 Tac-13. It was really in high demand, big time, when it was first released. A lot of people said it was too expensive, but here we've got the Mossberg Shockwave 590S. All right, it's got a 1.3 inch longer barrel. There's that corn cob fore end with the strap. Great firearm, 5+1. and even more with the mini shells. And what's interesting is you could load them up any which way you choose. So if you wanted to go with the 3-inch magnum loads and then a mini shell, you could do that. Sounds kind of crazy, but you could. And adaptability is nice as well. Raptor style grip, and overall a great firearm. So both these are fine. I'm proud to own them both. Actually, I think they're both pretty nice. Actually, I think they're both very nice, and they both suit a purpose. You know, this range comparison's not so much to decide which one's better, even though that's what we do. It's to decide which one would best fit you and your purposes. You know, if you like the mini shells and you feel those would be good for perhaps your wife or even teenage kids, then definitely the Mossberg Shockwave 590S would be the way to go. But if you like that fast fire and the less recoil, which I guess they both have an advantage with less recoil because mini shells, VersaPort system, you know what I'm saying. It's a tough comparison because both these are great, and we're matching up Mossberg versus Remington, both amazing histories in the shotgun world. If you like videos like this, please subscribe and share. I always appreciate thumbs up button. Thanks for watching, and you guys be safe.